Good evening, Claire.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Okay.
Thanks.
Before we begin, I'd like to go over a couple things with you, if that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So first off, I would like to let you know that I abide by the ACA Code of Ethics,
Mm-hmm.
and if any time you want a copy of it, I can provide one to you. It just outlines counseling and how I'm to do counseling.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing is, I want you to know that everything that you and I talk about is confidential. However, there are some limits to confidentiality, and what that means is that there's some instances where I want to break confidentiality. Okay.
Okay.
Those instances include if you tell me you're going to harm yourself or another person,
Mm-hmm.
and harming another person could include if you were going to willingly or knowingly spread a communicable disease,
Mm-hmm.
such as HIV.
Mhm.
Another one would be if you knew of the abuse or neglect of a child or a vulnerable adult.
Okay.
If your records were subpoenaed by a court by me, I would have to give them up. Or yeah. Also, if you yourself would like them subpoenaed, not subpoenaed, but if you would like your records transferred somewhere else,
Okay. I gotcha.
and that could be another. A number of things transferred.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have any questions about that before we begin?
No. Makes sense.
Okay, so today we're gonna go about 20 minutes, give or take, and I'll let you know a couple minutes before it's over,
Okay.
and that way we won't just have an abrupt stopping point. If that's okay with you.
Sure. I appreciate that. Yeah.
All right. So what brings you in today?
Where to start? So I'm in college. I got about 1 year left. And right now is just a lot of change going on. For almost like my whole life, it's just been my mom and I. And then the past 7 years, my daughter Layla came into the picture. So she's about 7 years old, and her dad has been in the picture with us. But then, a couple months ago, also, him and I just recently broke up. Just kind of, questioning a few things in life right now with that. And so, yeah, so, and then my mom just recently remarried a guy, and we've lived in the same house in the city. It's very convenient. I go to school there. I work there. My daughter goes to school there. She's in second grade. And, so it's all very convenient. My mom has an odd job, so she works there as well. And, it's really convenient. So kind of along with everything else, she also recently got married. And so decided to just kind of up and move. And since I'm not financially stable yet, I'm bartending to kind of work my way through school. And that was an agreement her and I made on, was that, I don't really have to, I supply financially for my own daughter, she's mine. But, my mom will like help watch her and things like that when I have to go to class or when I have to work late at night.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so now she's remarried, and now we're out going from the city, and we live on a farm now, which is interesting. And so it's a lot of change going on right now that I'm just not quite sure what to do with it all.
Okay.
So
I'm hearing a lot about change. Change
Mhm.
about it being just you and your mother to having a daughter,
mm-hmm.
and now you have a stepfather as well.
a new guy, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little tough for me to call him a father. I don't really know what that looks like, I guess.
Okay.
So, but he makes her happy, which is important. And at the same time, I can't help but feel a little selfish that here was our way of life, and now it's gone, I guess. And just it's rough. Like it's just different. Like, and I don't really know what to make of it, I guess. So, I don't know. My mom's very busy now because it's a dairy farm. It requires a lot of work. So she's actually quit her job to kind of work on the farm, and yet I still have my job, and So I mean, Layla loves it. She loves being out there, and there are animals, and I mean, she's 7. She's out all this land to be out on, and and then John, my mom's new husband, also has 2 sons who are not too much younger than me. They're 17 and 23, but they kind of, I guess I'm grateful that they kind of take her under, and they help out a little bit, but also at the same time, like, they're 17 and 23. He's about to finish up high school, while this dude over here is about to, whatever he's doing, I don't really know, I don't really care to know, but, it's just different. So, I mean, I'm kind of grateful, but then I'm also kind of like, it sucks,
Yeah. I'm hearing a little frustration in your voice when you talk about the move and all the changes happening in your life.
Yeah, it's really frustrating.
Really frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to why you don't care. You were saying that you really don't care about what your new family members are doing, and I'm wondering if it's because you were so used to the way you and your mother had your life together.
Yeah, I mean, I never really thought about it like that. I guess that is definitely, that would be a substantial reason. And I guess now kind of thinking more about that I guess that would make a little bit more sense, because I don't really know why I don't care. Like, they're just, like, a lot of other siblings have all of that history together, and then here we are, and they're recently married, and now we're all just one big happy family living under the same roof, and it's like, it's almost like a fabricated happiness. Like, my mom, like I said, my mom's happy, I'm happy that she's happy. I'm not with that situation, which I guess doesn't really matter to a certain extent, but at the same time, like, why wouldn't it matter?
Why don't you think your happiness matters?
Well, because she lives her life, I live mine. We live together. We've done everything together. We're each other's backbones and rocks and support systems, and I guess she has a new backbone and rock and support system, and I'm kind of just like, where does that leave me? And again, like, is that selfish of me to think that? Again, a part of me says yes, and a part of me says, well, I have that right to feel selfish about that. Like, it was her and I, forever, and then Layla, and, I would never take Layla away. Light issue. Okay, so...
Sorry about
but
that.
kind of, hey, that's okay. You're kind of representative of my life. Like, just blacks out every once in a while, because it's, it's like, I think that things are kind of going along, and then just, boom, lights cut out on me. So, I mean, that actually kind of worked. Like, that was a good representation of what I'm feeling right now. Because, part of me is like, just at a loss with it, and just kind of, I don't know.
So, you just said that the blackout, the lights going off, is kind of representative of your life, and that sometimes your life kind of blacks out. I'm wondering what that blackout feels for you, or what happens during those blackouts.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very frustrating, because then, like, I don't know, when the light turns back on, so it's like, it's not that typical metaphor of, like, oh, the light bulb, now it's a new insight, and now, like, it's not like that. It's almost like this blinding light back in my face, like a deer in headlights type of feeling. Not like, oh, things are going down the right path, and I see the light at the end of the tunnel. Like, it's more of an oh shit type of moment, Like, I don't, like, okay, lights are on, now what? Now what do I make of this?
I think it's very interesting. Maybe you're feeling that way because just like now when the lights go off, the lights go back on and it's the same stuff in the room. Nothing's changed. Is that maybe how you're feeling, that when you're in a dark place, the lights come back on, nothing's changed?
Yeah, I would say that's definitely one way to look at it. I guess depending on what room I'm in, like what point in my life I'm in.
So sometimes the rooms change.
Yeah, like kind of like moving out from like the city to to the farm, it's like, that was almost like a blackout moment, you know?
Mhm.
And then, boom, the lights came back on, and I'm out of my natural zone. Like, I'm driving, you know, now, and like, I'm not very familiar with all those backcountry roads, so it's like, now I'm driving 20 minutes to work, and 20 plus to school, and even those two things aren't that far apart, but it's just different, you know, different routes to take. And, you know, I mean, I guess the one good thing is that because they were a little bit, it's kind of weird to think about, but like, you know, Layla still can go to the same school. So at least that's something that I didn't have to necessarily worry about and change, because for her, there's been a lot of change going on too. And, you know, then it's like, well, how do I handle that? You know, like, how do I handle if she went all awry on me? Like, I'm already a mess myself, and then she, you know what I mean, like, if she changed, if this change really impacted her, really affected her in a negative way, then I don't know, like, how I would feel about that, how I would feel about my mom, you know, essentially moving us. And even though I'm an adult, and that's really embarrassing to say, like, my mom moved us, but that happened. And, you know,
Right.
so it's just, you know, kind of, it's very frustrating. Very frustrating.
I noticed when you started talking about your daughter and all the changes that you and her have been going through, you began to get a little bit flustered.
Yeah, it's very flustering.
Flustering.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm kind of grateful that that didn't happen, or at least right now, but then I'm constantly thinking, oh, what's going to happen in the future? But again, she seems to be kind of thriving on the farm. Maybe it is a better place for her. You know, I don't know. I guess time will tell that, but, you know, it's just kind of in the back of my head, like, what if she does kind of go away, in a sense, you know?
Would you mind diving a little deeper into this flustered feeling? Kind of letting me know what you're feeling, maybe physically, emotionally, when this flustered feeling comes over you, what thoughts are racing in your head?
Okay. Again, think about it. I mean, these are things I'm not really necessarily, they just kind of happen that I've thought about. When I get flustered, you know, I get very hot. I get very, like, almost jittery, just very, I don't want to say confused, but just kind of like all over the place type of thing. And I feel like a lack of control. And, like, I'm not a control freak, but I like to have a little bit of control. I like to feel like I'm a little bit in control of my life,
Right.
you know, and now it's just like complete lack thereof. And so, you know, then I just start, my mind starts racing, and I start getting these what if thoughts, or the should thoughts, or well, what if this didn't happen? What if I had taken this path in life? Like, I really start to, like, go back in my own mind and my own history, like, where, you know, if I hadn't, hadn't met her father, you know, and like I said earlier, like, I would never take her back, but at the same time, like, I feel guilty that that's almost even a part of my thought process, like, all of these, I mean, going back to years and years ago, just like all of these what ifs. What if I had taken a different path in this scenario? So that kind of plays into it, and then kind of thinking about, well, what does that mean for me now? I mean, I know I can't change those things. What's done is done, and
Right.
I have to move forward, but, you know, I don't know, like, and then it's, like, my heart starts racing, I just get, like, I try to strategize a plan, I try to think of something, and just, I blank. You know, and just kind of, sometimes I make really stupid, irrational decisions. And then other times, you know, I just don't make a decision at all. And then other times, in retrospect, after some time has passed, you know, then I'm like, all right, it wasn't really that stupid of a decision that I made, like, in a flustering moment. But, you know, so it's all sorts of, like, it's very negative. I don't like that negative feeling. Just right now, everything's very negative.
Okay. Do you think you're having these what if, could I have, these moments more recently since all this change been happening, or are these pretty reoccurring?
More so now.
Also now.
More so now. I've kind of always had the what ifs because I was never the best responsible decision maker in my life. I had my daughter at 17, so you know, again, she's not a mistake, but maybe my decision that night wasn't the best one.
Okay.
So, you know, that kind of then put me back some. Like, I just, you know, I'm 25 now, and I mean, I guess it didn't really put me back that much. Like, I entered college when I was like 20, you know, not the typical 18 to 22, now it's 20 to 25. I'm in my last year, and, you know, it's fall semester, graduation should be May, and now I'm like contemplating, like, do I even want to, like, can I graduate? Like, you know, if they need so much help on the farm, if Layla isn't getting the care that she really needs, if I have to work just to keep supporting myself and her, and then my mom if need be, and, you know, it's like, do I even have time? I mean, I'm, you know, taking 4 classes this semester, and I'll take 4 next semester just to finish. And I've already taken long enough, so, you know, I don't know, like, kind of just at that crossroads of, like, where the what ifs really impact my current thinking, and I hate that. Like, I hate that they impact me so much. Like, I shouldn't think of the what ifs. I shouldn't think of all these other things that I have no control over, while the fact of my life is that the things that I don't have control over, I should have control over, but yet I'm trying to control the things that I know I have no control over. Does that make sense? Okay.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing this all with me. I just want to check in because you gave me a lot of good information. So I'm hearing that you're kind of frustrated,
Mm-hmm.
and that all this change that's happening very rapidly is frustrating you.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
you're unsure of your future, as well as your daughter's future. You seem a little bit concerned about that as well.
Very, yes.
Right. Okay. I'm wondering how we could kind of change those what ifs. Like, if you could just give me an example of maybe make the what ifs positive, or how to replace those questions with maybe a positive statement, because you said that you do not like the negative thoughts.
I don't, no.
Right.
They're very hindering. They like just take over, like, without me realizing it. They take over.
Right.
Insidious thoughts that are just, ugh. So
So-
yeah, I mean, that would definitely, you know, I'd be open to that.
Okay. So maybe at one point, me and you can brainstorm. We could throw out a negative what if question, and then we could try to reframe it and make it positive. But for now, I would like to hear a little bit more about what's going on with you, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Alright. Something to look forward to. I
Okay.
dig it. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Obviously there's a lot going on. I mean, we've touched base on that.
Right.
But just kind of, like, I don't know. I don't know, like, if I feel guilty. I don't know if I feel anxious. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Like, that's kind of the thing, like, is that I get to a point where I almost feel like I have, like, too many emotions that I can't define them. I can't pinpoint them, and then it's like, just, okay. Blackout. Turn off. Like, almost blacking out myself. Like, just, okay, I'm just not gonna feel anything, you know?
So maybe
So-
during that blackout period that you mentioned a little earlier, you feel a little flustered, and all those emotions you're feeling, you can't express, or you don't know how to express. You don't even know how to give them a name, it sounds like. And I'm sure that itself can be very frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the overall is just, it's frustration. And it's, you know, almost like, not like an angry person, but almost like, well, it does anger me, you know? Like, it seems like just kind of like my world was ripped out from underneath me, and here I am in this whole new world, and it's, you know, just kind of, I'm trying to take things like day by day, like even moment by moment in certain hours, and it's just, you know, it's very, I guess I just have to be very, like, cognizant of what I'm doing,
Right.
and just very aware of, you know, and I guess, like, because I wasn't the best decision maker growing up, a pretty rough teenage hood, that, you know, it at least now, like, it has made me more aware of the impact my decisions has on the longevity of my life. So I mean, I guess that's good. You know, doing this job is a positive statement thing. But still, it's like there's just every time I try to make things positive, it just seems like something else pops up, and then here come these insidious thoughts trying to like weave their way in again, and just like that. I mean, perfect timing,
Dark
you
place.
know, and
That's the dark place again. Right. Okay.
so you know, it's
Right.
it's frustrating. Stop turning the lights out on me,
Right.
you know.
I'm sure that's very frustrating. And I'm watching you. You talk about being frustrated and angry. You don't want to be an angry person, but at the same time, you're also smiling.
I guess it's like it's I don't know. It's like almost embarrassing to talk about, like,
Yes.
because I'm not an angry person, not that I believe anyway.
Right.
And you know, it's just so it's like it is. It's almost like embarrassing to talk about being angry over something that I don't know. Should I be angry about it? I mean, am I being selfish? Like, should I? I mean, I guess that's why I'm in counseling, to hopefully maybe repair some of those thought processes along the way. But
Right.
I guess yeah. It's just kind of embarrassing to talk about a feeling that typically I don't have, and I was never, I was just never like that. I was never really angry. Everything, maybe that's why I wasn't the best decision maker, because everything was all like happy go lucky, nothing can happen, and
Right.
turns out that's not true. So, just yeah, it's
Okay. Well, Claire, we're nearing close to the end of our session.
oh wow, okay.
Yeah. Covered a lot of good stuff today. I'm really happy that you opened up to me. I'm really that we can do a lot of things. Before we end, I just want to make sure that I'm hearing you correctly. I just want to check out with you.
Mhm.
Is that okay?
Mhm.
Talked about your move, your recent breakup. I also heard some feelings of isolation between maybe you and your mother. We were talking about that a little bit, and maybe we could touch on that and these feelings of being angry and flustered and being in that dark place when we come back next session.
Okay.
How does it
Sure.
sound to you?
I'll have to prepare myself a little bit for that one, but
Prepare
okay.
yourself, okay. Was there anything you want to say to me before you leave, or?
No, I mean, yeah, I guess I throw a lot at you. So, I mean, there's just, there's a lot going on, and I guess just with no one to talk to, it's just, so thank you, I guess.